Hey everybody, today we're talking about 5 bourbons that I am extremely excited about right now. Now, I actually did something very similar to this in a live stream maybe a month and a half ago, but I didn't do a video about it, and actually my bottles have changed a little bit. So I wanted to actually put these in video form because I just want to share with all of you when I get really excited about some delicious bourbons that I think that you should know about if you haven't discovered them already. Now, if you end up enjoying this video, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and I would like to thank today's video sponsor, ZBiotics. ZBiotics has become a staple here on Whiskey Row. Now, when they created ZBiotics, they started with a Japanese superfood and genetically modified it to help break down the toxic byproducts of alcohol in your stomach, similar to how your liver functions. And basically, when you drink alcohol, there is a toxic byproduct called acetaldehyde. ZBiotics works to combat acetaldehyde. Now, if you have not tried ZBiotics, I recommend from firsthand experience, go to zbiotics.com/whiskeyrow to get 15% off your first order, or click on the QR code on your screen right now and receive the same discount. Now, with the holidays coming up, with Thanksgiving around the corner, and then Christmas beyond that, it is imperative that we have ZBiotics on hand because we have to prepare for, family coming over, and sometimes we might have to drink when family's there to just make it okay. Go to zbiotics.com/whiskeyrow to get 15% off your first order, and thank you so much to ZBiotics for sponsoring today's episode. I am so excited about these 5 bourbons that I had to make this video and share these with you. That's what this is about. It's what I'm excited about. There's really no rhyme or reason. There's no budgetary constraints here. These are just ones that I've found recently, or I've rediscovered recently, that I just really enjoy. And the first one is Elijah Craig C923. I know I'm not the first one to probably tell you how good this one is. If this hits or drops in your area and you have a chance to get a hold of it, I highly recommend you grab this thing. This thing's coming in. It's a C923. It's 133 proof. It's 13 year and 7 month. So it's the oldest Elijah Craig barrel proof that I've had, and it's also one of the highest proof ones that I've ever had, and it is phenomenal. When it hits your mouth, you get this explosion of spice, then it goes into some nice barrel oak, then it goes into vanilla cream, a little bit chocolate covered cherries. It's very decadent, very rich, great mouth coat. Really impressive experience. It truly is one of the best Elijah Craig barrel proofs I have ever had, if not the best I've ever had. And even more importantly, it almost doesn't even taste like Elijah Craig barrel proof. It honestly tastes very similar, in my opinion, to a really high quality Old Forester Blue Label. So if you're a fan of the Old Forester Blue Labels and you want something similar for $70 and somewhat findable, I know it's dropped in some states it might not be there yet, but keep your eye out. This is a Shanks. Now, if you are not familiar with Shanks, Shanks is a special release bottle by Michter's. Now, they do 2 of these that are part of their Heritage series or something. One is called Baumburgers, and this one is Shanks. Normally, I love the Baumburgers much more than the Shanks, but this is the first Shanks I've had since 2021. Now, it's not the easiest bottle to find sometimes because it is a special release, but because it doesn't have Michter's name on it, a lot of people don't realize that this is actually a special release of Michter's. So if you're just out there, I mean, it's only 91.4 proof, I think. It's not super proofy. It's not super proofy at all, but it's actually got this particular one has a very good mouthfeel for the proof. Some really nice flavor notes. Let's try it. Now, since this is a sour mash, it does have a little bit of a higher rye content than your normal bourbon would. And it really kind of comes across as this light and fresh, but there's also these nice caramel and vanilla notes that, from a traditional bourbon. A little bit oaky, but for 91.4 proof, it is an absolutely delicious mouthfeel. Great flavors. Super strong bottle that I really recommend. If you haven't tried Shanks, if you see a Baumburgers or a Shanks for retail sitting in your store, definitely grab one. If you got the budget for it, obviously. Don't keep your bourbon spending within the budget constraints for you and your family. But with that said, if you can get a hold of one of these for right around retail, I highly recommend it, particularly the 2023 one. It's a great representation of a really nicely well done sour mash whiskey. And now don't let you, I mean, if some of you bourbon people may be like, oh, it's got such a high rye count, I don't know if I'd like it, I don't like ryes. It's not like that. It really is. It's like a light, fresh bourbon. And there's none of those kind of off off-putting rye notes that some people don't care for. So, like I said, this is one that you should try to pick up. Next up is a special Penelope. Now, this is a Penelope Rosé Cask Finish pick. This one's coming in at 115 proof from S&W Liquors. I don't know where that is. Great supporter of the channel actually gave this bottle to Jamie, and I have adopted it as my own because it is that delicious. Now, normally I'm not a huge fan of Penelope. I've, in many videos, not said the best things about Penelope, but this thing is an absolute hitter. This is tremendous. So, 415 proof. It's 4 years age stated, so it's not particularly old. And first time I had it, I didn't love it. It was okay, but I really like this thing now. Let me try it, and then I'll tell you about it. A rosé is a particular type of wine. I don't like wines. I don't drink wines. I don't know much about wines, but rosé is a kind of a lighter wine. It's kind of like a mix between a red and a white. I don't really know. Don't listen to me at all. But when it comes to wine, I don't know anything. When it comes to whiskey, I don't know very much either. But I'm glad you like the videos. So this particular one, with the rosé finish, what happens with this is you get that nice bourbon undertone, but you get this very light fruitiness. And normally I don't like wine finished bourbons. It's not normally something that I enjoy. This particular one though, the notes that come through, I mean, it literally is this very consistent flavor across the board. Like I said, you got this little underlying bourbon note of caramel, so a little bit of vanilla cream. There's a little bit, almost a little bit of like a white cake. And then above that is this kind of like a sweet, very, very thin, like red berry sauce. Very thin though. It's very, very thin. It's not like a Buffalo Trace red berry thing. It's just very light, very delicate. It's absolutely delicious. I highly recommend, if you ever see a rosé cask finish Penelope, I mean, obviously this is a single barrel pick from a store, but if you see one, I recommend that you try it. Budgetary constraints, everything else. This would be a great one. This was actually on my list for great bottles for Thanksgiving, so for the holidays. So if you you are trying to think of a special bottle for the holidays, it's not going to break the budget. A Penelope Rosé is a great place to go. Now, I don't think anybody's going to be able to predict this particular bottle that it would have been on my list, because this is one that I wouldn't have, I mean, honestly, had I not tried it, I'd have told you I wouldn't have been excited about it. But this is a Garrisonville Brothers Cowboy Bourbon, coming in at 140.9 proof hazmat. So, in the past, for those of you who've been following the channel for a while, you know that in the past I have not loved Texas whiskeys. I haven't really found any that I've gotten very, very excited about. However, this one has converted me completely. This is tremendous. This thing is such an intense, flavorful, great experience. And there's all the Texas things, the normal things that I don't like about Texas whiskey, they're not in this glass. Obviously, at 140 proof, you are going to get a little bit of burn up front. There's a little bit of a musty barrel, but it's a Texas musty barrel. It's not like a normal, you know, the good musty barrel I love. There's a hint of that Texas barrel. But it's not off-putting at all, and that's rare, because usually when I get that, I don't like it. But from there, the proof dies down just a little bit. You're left with this really, really nice caramel cream quality. There's a little bit of this kind of herbal, I'd probably call it an allspice and a nutmeg. And then there's this little bit of a floral, a really interesting, unique floral. And overall, it's a tremendous whiskey experience. It's, granted, these bottles are, this was a free sample that they gave me. Thank you so much, Garrisonville Brothers. I didn't say I was going to do anything with it. I just, you know, they offered to send it, and I liked it. And yeah, so I wanted to share it with y'all. But this is tremendous. If I could get a hold of a bottle, I would love to. Only downside of these bottles is they're like $250. And frankly, that is a lot of money to put into one bottle. Even if it's good Texas whiskey, it's still $250 into one bottle of Texas whiskey. The last bottle tonight is Four Roses Single Barrel Private Selection, barrel proof, whatever you want to call it. This is a pick from Sam's Club, of all places, coming in at 10 years and 4 months. It's an OBSV, it's 106 proof. Now, this is the reason I love this thing, and the reason why I'm really excited about it is because normally it's really hard for me to get hold of these Four Roses Private Select barrels. They're honestly just not something that you can get here in Virginia. And so normally I either only find them if I'm really lucky when I'm out of state hunting, or if somebody's kind enough to help me get a hold of one and mail it to me. So that's really the only times I get it. But sometimes when I get them, the bottles are good. Other times they're fantastic. And this one is fantastic. Even though it's one of the lowest proof ones at 106 proof, it's still tremendous, tremendous, tremendous. Let me try it. On the palate, you're immediately hit with this really, really strong floral quality on this particular one. It's a little bit of a green plant, the kind of Four Roses, standard thing you get sometimes. Then after that, it kind of dies down quick. It's got a really nice mouthfeel, and it's got a good, strong finish. Immediately after those floral notes and proof, it really just kind of goes into this very mellow, almost like an apricot cream soda thing. It's absolutely tremendous. At 106 proof, it's super low proof for a Four Roses pick, but there's nothing wrong with this one. This thing is out of this world good. If you ever find a Four Roses private barrel pick from a store, they usually run about $100. If you ever find one, I totally recommend you get them. They have 10 different flavor recipes. I've been doing some videos here and there, going through the different recipes to kind of talk about which of the recipes I like the best. And frankly, they're all pretty darn good. There's some subtle differences as you go between them, but overall, they're really, really pleasant, really, really good. Highly recommend them. These are just 5 bottles that I'm excited about. Hopefully, you have some bottles that you're excited about. I know sometimes just in the hustle and bustle of the channel and trying to film content and stuff, it just becomes like not a grind, but it's just like constant of trying to make content. And sometimes it's just really nice to focus on some stuff I'm excited about, some bottles I'm excited about. There's not really a theme other than, yay, these bottles are tremendous and I really, really like them. So if you ended up enjoying this video, please smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. If you have not had or tried ZBiotics, go to zbiotics.com/whiskeyrow to get 15% off your first order. Thank you to them for sponsoring this, and thank you to all of you for watching this video. And until next time, find a bottle you love.